So hey everyone, in the last video we had set up the functionality to add a property, okay, only for the logged in users. Okay, so only one feature that was missing within our list property page is the uploading images part. Okay, so user should be able to upload the property images. Okay, so the uploading of images is slightly a complicated process, especially if you are using a full stack framework like Next.js. Okay, so there are also other third-party libraries which can help us in storing images, and but there is one such platform which can help us upload our images to the cloud, and based on the particular URL we can just access that particular image and then display it on the web page. Okay, so the service that we are going to use for this project is Cloudinary. Okay, so Cloudinary is a free and open source platform where you can use and store images, okay, based on the client ID and secret that you provide, that you just need to set up within your development environment, and then you just need to if you want to pass in an image, we just need to do that in the form of a code, right? So for that we just need to retrieve the client ID and the client secret, just as we did for the Google Auth login, right? So same way we just need to sign up and then get those credentials. All right, so let's go ahead and start getting those credentials, and I'm just going to click on get started. By the way, you can just go to cloudinary.com and you see the interface like that. Okay, so once you sign in, I'm just going to just sign in and just show you what are we going to get. So now I have officially signed into Cloudinary, and right now if you see that we have so many other options, like over here you can just explore one by one. So I'll just go to the main part of this video, that is to retrieve the client ID and secret. Okay, as you see, you can also get an option to upload your files, and once you upload you get the particular URL. Okay, it's similar to like Amazon S3 buckets if you have used. Okay, so if you upload an image you get the URL, and you can use it anywhere within your website. Okay, so this is just like a virtual of that, and this is like a free service. Okay, there you just need to pay, but here this is completely free of cost. Okay, but also there is some limit. Okay, so if you exceed that, they might ask you to pay and all that. Okay, so now let's click on settings, and probably we should be able to find the setting to get our client ID and the secret. Okay, so now let's go to API keys. Okay, so actually my bad, so you just need the API key and not the client ID. Okay, so sometimes I get confused between those two. So this is the API key and the API secret. Okay, so one will be created by default for you, so you can also generate another new API key. Okay, so I'm just going with the already set up one, and this is the cloud name. Okay, so these three things we will need within our setting up Cloudinary within our development environment. Okay, so make sure you store the API key and the secret along with the cloud name into your .env file, and then we can just move ahead with this video. So once you have retrieved your credentials, okay, so we just need to download this as a npm package, okay, as Cloudinary, and all we need to now do is just create a file and just provide your the Cloudinary the API key and the secret. Okay, and also the cloud name as shown here over here, and let's go ahead and now do that. So I'll just copy this command and go back to my terminal, and over here I can just open another one and paste in the particular command. Okay, so that is npm install Cloudinary. Okay, so let's wait for it. So once that's done, now what we just need to now do is we need to create a file, and we just need to import the Cloudinary package itself, which is by the name v2, and we can rename that to Cloudinary, and then we can just invoke a function by the calling the config method and then providing all of our credentials over there. Okay, so we can just copy this piece of code, and this is all about the image upload process. Okay, so we are not going to upload images like this, but we are going to do that within the add property page by clicking on a button which will take in the images as a file and then pass it inside that as a server action. Okay, so for now we can just do only these. So I'm just going to copy this and going back to my code, and within the root of our application we can just create a file over there called as utils. Okay, and inside that I'm going to create a file called cloudinary.ts. Okay, so I'm just going to paste in my clipboard, and I'm just going to call this function just as this. So let's close this function and call this function immediately. Okay, so this is an ify, by the way. Okay, and once I save this, we just need to replace this by our actual credentials. Okay, so by the cloud name, API key, and the secret. So I have just updated those values with the environment variables that I created within my .env file by those values. Okay, for whatever you have named that, so you can replace that with the variable name. Okay, so actually this function is not needed within our documentation. I just saw that, so we can just use the cloudinary.config and we can just export this variable of this Cloudinary itself. Okay, so using a default export. Alright, so make sure this is done, and now we can just go back to our add property page and then import a button from design to upload our images. Okay, so just to show you a small demo, so this is the button which we will be implementing. So when we click on upload, so this should open a file uploader, and we can just upload some images. Okay, and these are just some thumbnails for my YouTube videos. Okay, so if I click on open, so it should display them like this, and if we want we can also preview them. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is what we will right now be building. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am right now within the design upload component. Okay, so you can just go to design and search for upload component. Okay, so this is the page which you will see. Okay, so they were giving us some examples on how we can use different form of upload buttons, and we will be using one of these buttons. Okay, but some buttons are having some extra features, and some other buttons are having some different features. So what I planned is like some buttons have just one upload, so some buttons have multiple uploads. So I'm just going to mix in some code from different components and then create something like this which I just showed you. Okay, so let's now go ahead and read the documentation and see how exactly we can implement this feature. Okay, so for now we can just grab some piece of code from this upload button. Okay, on the right side, so with this avatar one. Okay, so we are not going to use any kind of avatar, but just this piece of code that is to upload. Okay, so if I just copy this and then go back to my add page, so let us go back to the page one. Okay, so by the way, this error will be resolving it later from TypeScript, and now we can just go right below the preferred tenants. Okay, right here, so we can sorry, not preferred tenants, the property parking. So we can just paste this anywhere, anyways it doesn't matter. So let's use a form.item. Okay, and then inside this let's pass in some props like label, which is going to be upload images. Okay, and we have another prop called value. You can just see from this options, that is we are interested in the value prop name. Okay, so that is value prop name, and then pass it to the file list, because this is the file we are going to send right in the form of a list. Okay, so that will be in the form of an array, and design internally will interpret that we are uploading multiple images. Okay, so let's give this as a file list, and inside this we are right now going to paste in our clipboard. Okay, that we actually copied. So we just need to import the the upload button. Okay, so then after that we are just going to replace some of these props. Okay, and so we don't need the name, by the way, because we will not be sending this as on finish. Okay, so we will be storing it in the form of state and then assign some types, and once we click on finish, we are going to pass in the array of images. Okay, so we can just get rid of this line, and then we don't need the class name also, and then we need is the prop called multiple. Okay, which helps us to select multiple images. Okay, so if I just save that, and we don't need this action, so this is just for the demonstration in design, and for before upload we do not want to do anything. Okay, so this is like if you are using like for every upload you wanted to do some action, so then we can, this is actually useful. Okay, so once we click on finish, only then do we take all the images and send that server actions, and then pass in the particular array of URLs, right? So for this we can just return a function and set this to false. Okay, and then we need is the on preview. Okay, so on preview you see over here, and then we just need to call a function called, let's say, handle preview. all right. And once that's done, and one final thing is we just need to pass in the file list. Okay, so the file list we just need to create a state for that and then pass in the file list. Okay, so this should be handle preview, and later we'll be creating this particular function, and then let's pass in the file list and then pass in the variable name called file list. Okay, so we will be creating after this, and we don't need this show upload list. Okay, so that's done. And only thing is for the upload button, if you just go back to the documentation, they have just created their own upload button, okay, by giving their own style. So let us also copy this and then create a variable right above our return function and paste it now here. And then we don't need this loading, I guess. So let's get rid of this. Okay, and once this is done, we can now for now assign those create the state over there for the file list, and then give it certain types. Okay, and the types will also be coming from design, which we can just give it the inference of that. So let us import this button or this icon. Okay, so once that's done, we can just go back to the documentation and just see how to create the state for uploading to store the files. Okay, so if I can just find any example. Okay, so here it is. You see that this is a state which will contain the type of upload file, okay, which we also need to import from Andy. Okay, so Andy also has TypeScript support, which we can use inside our any TypeScript project. So let's copy this and go back, and let's go right at the top and create this particular state. Okay, so let us define these. Okay, and also the upload file. Okay, so now our file list is now defined, and we can just close this up. So as far as the number of images to upload, okay, so we just need only maximum 8 images. Okay, so we are not going to store more than 8 images for the property. So we can just show this button only if there are less than 8 properties that are being uploaded. Okay, so if there is more than that, then we just want to disable this button. So we can just use a conditional rendering here. So let's say if file list dot length. Okay, so by the way, this is going to be an array of the file URLs, and if that is greater than or equal to 8, then we just want to say null. So we just don't want to show anything else, we just want to show the upload button. Okay, so this upload button we just created, right? So this button over here. Okay, so with that let's also define these two functions so that we can just see what do we actually get. So so these two functions are now defined. So now we can just go back to our UI and just see the button if it is being rendered properly or not. So let's go here, and yeah, there we go. So we see the label of upload images and a button over here, okay, to upload. So if you click on upload, so you see that it will open a window where you can you can just upload many images. Okay, so since we set the property of multiple, so we can just do this and click on open. So for now we haven't shown the functionality of displaying the uploaded images over here. Okay, so that's why nothing is happening. So now let's go through the documentation once again and check out how exactly we can do this. So now inside the documentation we already have those two functions already defined for us. Okay, so only thing is we just need to copy this and paste in within our code. Okay, so this is by the name onChange, and this is for the onPreview. Okay, so these are the two properties which we actually defined within our upload thing. So onPreview is that one which will I just showed you, right? So when we click on this view icon, so it will show you this preview like this. Okay, so and on changes when we click on upload, so that will go ahead and update the state with our new array of images. Okay, so that's the differences between them. So now let's copy this and go back to our code and paste over there. So let us replace this with this, and only thing is we just need to import all the types. Okay, so we can just copy these types and then go back and import them. All right, and I guess even the file type, I guess, so it's over here. Okay, so this should be here, and after this we can just try to see what are the errors. Okay, so this is not called handle change, so this is that on change. Okay, so we can just replace this by that, and also this handle preview, so it is I guess not handle preview, it is on preview. So let us replace that by this name, and with that we should maybe, so let's get rid of this upload file which is being imported 2 times, and with that after we save, we should now be seeing some changes. Okay, so if we go to the upload images thing, so if I click on this plus icon, and if I just select some images and click on open, so you see that we are getting the preview over here. Okay, so if I click on this view button, you see the preview of that, and also the same, if we do on this, we can just click on delete. Okay, so like so, and this is actually an array of the file list. Okay, and this is the file list which we need to send to our server action to retrieve the URL and then store the URLs within our database. Okay, so let's go ahead and start implementing that. So back to my code, I just wanted to now inspect and see what is there exactly within this file list. Okay, so I can just console log this file list and just have a look. So now if we just go back to our application and just try to refresh this and just see our console. Okay, so once I clear this and try to upload one more image, alright, and you see that we have an array of 3 items. Okay, so this is of the type that is upload props. Okay, from design. So we need to retrieve the URL of the particular image. Okay, so we get that URL within this origin file obj. Okay, within this property inside that object. So this is of the type file. Okay, so now we just need to convert this file to base 64 images and then send this as a function argument to our server action. Okay, and we just need to resolve all of this, will be in the form of promises. So we just need to resolve this promise and then we need to retrieve the URL. Okay, so once we resolve all of the promises and retrieve URLs, so we store that in the form of an array and then pass that to our database. Okay, which holds the images for that particular property. Okay, since property has one-to-many relations to the image model, right? So we can just pass that image URLs, okay, in the form of an array. So let's go ahead and start implementing this. So within our documentation, so in one of the upload buttons, we have this function to get base 64. Okay, so we can just copy this piece of code and then go back to our code and then paste in over there. So I'm going to paste this within my onFinish handler. Okay, right above the try catch. All right, over here like this, and we just need to call this base 64, and by looping across all the different images that we have within our file list array, and then pass in them one by one and process within this function. Okay, so within the try block, we can just create a variable called base 64 images and set this equal to since these are all promises, right, which we will be getting within the file list, as I told you. So we can just resolve all those promises by setting this to await. Okay, so we need to make sure that this function is async. So await promise.all. okay, since we are resolving multiple promises, right, so we just need to map across all the promises that we have within our file list. So file list.map. So for each file, we just want to convert that to a base 64. So let's first create a variable called file to convert and set this equal to the file. So we have this file, right, within this we have this property called origin file obj, and we just need to get that from the file. So dot origin file object, and then we just need to get the base 64 of that. Okay, so let's return this function by calling the get base 64, and then pass in that file to convert. Okay, so it's giving me some TypeScript error. So to fix this, we just need to give it a type assertion of RC file. Okay, so this is the thing which we need to import from design. So once that's done, that error should go away. So now we just need to go ahead and pass in this base 64 images within our server action. Okay, so now first let's go ahead and create that particular server action within our post property. Okay, so we can just open that up. So along with the user ID, we are also getting the images now, right? so which is going to be of type string. So the URL which will be of string, right? So this is going to be an array of strings. So now we just need to go ahead and resolve all those promises that we get from those base64 images, and then retrieve the URL. Okay, so once we retrieve the URL, we can just save that, we can just pass that within the response, and then we should be able to see that an image is being linked to the property. Okay, so now let us map across all the images by storing inside a variable called images. Let's say image upload promises. Okay, so all of this still needs to be resolved, so we can just await on the images dot map. Okay, so for every image, okay, so this is going to be an async function. Okay, so that is images base64. All right, and this is going to be a string. Okay, the URL, right? So this is, let's write the body of the function, and we can just store the result of the response of the resolved promise within this result, and set this equal to await. That is, we can just now call the Cloudinary function that we set up, right? So this Cloudinary thing which we exported, so we just need to call the particular function called the method called uploader. Okay, so let us import the Cloudinary dot uploader. Okay, and then we have a function to upload the files. Okay, so we can just pass in the image base64. So that is image base64. I guess I made a mistake, so this should be inside another 64, and then we just need to tell the which folder we want to store all of these images in. Okay, so we just need to write that inside a object saying that folder, and then pass in the name of our folder. So you can just name this folder anything, so we can just say this easy homes. Okay, so once that's done, we can just return the particular URL. Okay, so the URL is stored within this result variable, and this is in the form of object, so we just need to return the result.url, right? So return result.url. so this bracket should close right here, and by the way, we do not need await on this images. Okay, only on the Cloudinary thing. Okay, so this will take some particular time to upload, so we just need to await on that, and once this completes, then we proceed to the next level of code. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and resolve all these promises that we get from this image upload promises within the try block. Okay, so let's create a variable like say uploaded images, and set this equal to await, that is promise.all, and then pass in the image upload promises. Okay, so we can now just store this uploaded images URLs within our database. Okay, so now we can set images within our data property, since images are related to the property table, right? So we can just create a method inside that called create, and pass in the uploaded images. Okay, so we just need to map the particular URL. If you see in our schema, so we need the URL of that, right? So which is inside the images table called the URL property. So we just need to name by that URL thing. So let's map across the uploaded images dot map, and then for the every URL we just store the in the form of an object with the property named URL. Okay, so instead of doing this, we can just say URL like this. So this should actually return. Okay, so we can use common brackets inside this function. So yeah, that's done, and we have some TypeScript error within this base64. So this should be images base64. Okay, so that's done, and yeah, so let's now go ahead and test this out. So back to my add property page. Now we can pass in the particular base64 images. Okay, so that's done, and now let's go ahead and test this out. So let's now create a new property within our add page. So let's just give the name of test again, and test description, the street, city, state, the zip code and the price, the BHK, area, the parking, and the upload images. So let's upload these 3 images. Alright, so then we have the preferred tenants, property type, and available from. Alright, so now if I hit submit, so we should be able to see the images uploaded. Alright, so I guess there's some error. Okay, so we are restricted to only upload images less than 1 MB. Okay, so according to Cloudinary, if you want to store images of larger size, then you might have to pay for it. Okay, so I'll just grab some low size images and try to upload. So now I've just uploaded some 3 icons related to this project, and finally let's click on submit. So yeah, so I haven't as I told you in the last video, I haven't provided any kind of flash messages or anything, so we'll just do that in the next video. So I guess we are getting this response, and you see that it took some time. Okay, so it also takes some time to upload to Cloudinary, and we do not get any errors. Okay, so which means that we have successfully created this action without any errors. Okay, so now we can just go back to our Cloudinary console and just try to access the files and folders, okay, within our currently logged in users dashboard. So now if we click on this media explorer, so we should be able to see a file created over there. Yeah, there we go. That is by the file folder name that we just created, right? The easy homes dash YouTube for my reference. So if I just inspect this, go inside this folder and see, I don't know, for some reason it's not opening, so I can try to click on this, and yeah, there we go. We see those 3 particular images. Okay, and if I just copy the particular URL of this and just go to another tab and paste over here, and you see that we are now able to access that particular image. Okay, so since this is an SVG image, so it is just directly downloading. So if we just type in the particular copy the URL and paste over here, you should be able to see the image. Okay, and this is a publicly accessible URL, and if you just share this even to your friend, even your friend can access this image. Okay, so it is, you see that within the URL itself we have the folder name and then the Cloudinary created file name. Okay, so if I open this, you see that I'm able to access this particular file. So now if I go to the properties page, and you see that I'm getting an error because this is the host name that we haven't registered within our next config file. Okay, so now if we can go back to our code within the next config.mjs, and then there we have already registered res.cloudinary.com in while we are uploading those sample data, and for now it is giving us a different error. Okay, so only thing is this is coming from HTTP and not HTTPS. So in the last in one of those videos we had registered for HTTPS. Okay, so we can just copy this down one more time and register the same for HTTP as well. Okay, or you can just keep this just HTTP because it is anyways responds to even HTTPS inside this also. Okay, so anyways, so let's now try to refresh this, and we should now see our property being listed over on our website. Okay, so alright, so there we go. We see though the particular property been listed over here and with those 3 particular images. Okay, so this is working nice and good. Okay, so I'm really happy with this particular feature that we have implemented using Cloudinary, okay, for storing our images, which makes our lives more simpler, instead of all those headaches, storing images within a different service and all that. And this is one of the properties that we created in the last video, so we can just get rid of this. So now let's go to our database and check if the images are actually being uploaded or not. Okay, so once you log in to your database, so we can access the particular table. Okay, and over there we can just view inside tables and see our images table. Okay, and by making a query, you see that these are all the few images are already uploaded by when we were doing the data upload in one of those videos, and we should be able to see those 3 particular images that we just added for that newly created property. Okay, so if I now access the property table and this is the test again name that we gave of the id 39. And now if we access the images table, so for the property id 39 we should be able to see 3 particular urls. Okay, so this is the url. So even if I just copy this and go back to my browser and paste it over here, so I should be able to see the image over there. Okay, so that is what is actually powering this particular UI with those image URLs. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video, guys. So I hope you have liked and enjoyed this and learned a very useful feature in building any kind of web application like this. And yeah, so if you have come so far, so thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.